Hey there, I'm Brandon, and this is the Dirt Church Devotional. So let me ask you, if you're working on something and it ends up you need a special tool and you can't get it, what do you do? Well, if you're like me, maybe you make one. I was working on my grandkid's little bike, actually that one down there, last night trying to pull the clutch off, and I needed a special tool to get this gear off that holds the clutch on. It's got a 15 millimeter head on it, but only on two sides. I didn't have the tool. It was too late to go out and get it. If I wanted to order it, it would probably take me a week to get it. So I look around and I found an old open end wrench and a socket, and I welded them together, cut the end of the wrench off, and put it on a impact driver, and voila, got it off. And that's all well and fine if you're talking about working on a motorcycle, or you're talking about working on a quad or a truck or whatever. You're talking about figuring out another way to do it. But here's the problem. What do you do when you have a spiritual need and you think it's too late, or you think the cost is too high, or what have you? I tell you what a lot of people do. They rely on their own wisdom. They rely on their own understanding. They'll make something up, like I did to get this apart. They'll make stuff up. They'll look at part of the Bible and pull bits and pieces, and inevitably that leads to destruction. Paul, when he was writing about this in Philippians, I think it's chapter 3, verses 7 and 8, he says, everything that I considered good, this is my own translation, everything that I considered worthwhile, I now consider garbage for the sake of knowing Christ. You see, we run after all sorts of things as human beings. We run after all sorts of things looking for satisfaction, looking to fill that void that only Jesus can fill. We'll try with money or prestige or power or relationships, or you fill in the blanks. Paul was a very wise, very learned man. And in fact, at one time, while he was under arrest, he was talking to King Agrippa, and he's going on and on about the resurrection and whatnot. And Agrippa yells out, this is late in the book of Acts, Agrippa yells out and says, hey, your much learning is driving you mad. People understood that he had a good education. He was a very intelligent man. He spoke several languages. He had prestige being part of the Sanhedrin. But he considered all those things to be worthless, to be garbage in comparison to knowing Jesus Christ. You see, the reality is that there's salvation in only one name, and that's Jesus. The only thing that's going to keep you from hell once you die is a relationship with Jesus Christ. And here's the good news. You can afford it not because you have enough in the bank, but because God has enough. It's never too late. It was too late for me to go to the store last night and buy a tool. It was too late for me to order a tool, but it's never too late with God. Ask the thief on the cross that asked Jesus to remember him when he came into his kingdom. It's never too late, and you can afford it because God paid the price. The only thing that's going to keep you from it is you. So, hey, take that, chew on that for a little bit. We'll talk to you next time.